The pros and cons of keto. My name is Jody Bunting, and this is a special video talking about the pros and cons of the keto diet. So for the last 14 days, I've been on the 14-day keto challenge. I've tried lots of different keto foods, and I'm pleased to say I've lost 7 pounds in the 14 days, which I'm really happy about. Now for me, it was drastic. The first 7 days I was losing a pound a day, even a couple of days losing 2 pounds a day. So actually by the 5th day, I'd actually lost my half a stone, which I was really pleased with. And I thought this was gonna continue, but it didn't. So what we're going to do today is talk about the pros and the cons, and then I'll give you a conclusion as well of what I ultimately think of the keto diet. You can see in the background is just example of some of the healthier keto foods. But first of all, let's talk about the pros. Now, the number one out of everything, you can probably hear from what I've said, is the rapid weight loss. If you're looking, you're going on holiday for 2 weeks, or you're looking for something quick because you need to slim down for a photo shoot or something like that, then keto is amazing, okay? It's not the easiest, but it does work. The results are there, especially clean keto, which we'll come back to in a moment. So that's the biggest pro, is the fast weight loss. Now, the second one, which I love this, is if you're addicted to sugar like I was, and then keto, it's like going to a rehabilitation centre for alcohol or drugs, because you literally have no sugar. Now, not just the sugar that you think as just raw sugar, or whether it be chocolate bars or something like that, but also things that you maybe not think have thought have got sugar in. For instance, fruits that are quite high in sugar, even vegetables that are quite high in carbs as well. So it really makes you look at the labels, and it's kind of a bit of an education, because it really is shocking how many carbohydrates are in foods that we eat all day, every day. And some people actually live completely on carbs, so you start to understand why there is health issues. So that's definitely a big pro for me. So if you, like me, love sweet things, then it's great to get you off. The other thing about that as well, which I think is a real advantage, when you have a potato, when you have a pepper, you start to taste that sweetness in it. So it really is retraining. So if the moment you can't really taste sugar, this will definitely enhance your taste buds and make you enjoy food more. The next one is good for diabetes. As you know, I'm a diabetic type 2. So for me, what this is doing, keto, is leveling out my insulin levels and just really controlling my blood sugar. And that part of it is actually really great for me, and I feel really in control of my diabetes. So again, if you are a diabetic, I would definitely tell you to give keto a go. Little asterisk there, if you're diabetic type 1 on insulin, then you do need to speak with your doctor before trying keto. The next one is it's cheap. Do you know what? Protein is expensive. Fresh fruit and vegetables are expensive. Fat is cheap. So I can see why so many people on a low budget do keto, because buying loads of like big blocks of cheese and big blocks of bacon, it's really cheap. So I think that's really great that actually there's a diet out there that doesn't cost so much money, actually costs less than your normal diet. So I think that's a really massive pro. The other thing you can do as well, which I've been doing, is do something called intermittent fasting at the same time, where you'd have 1 or 2 meals every single day, and that reduces the cost even more. So as I said, it's the cheapest diet out there, definitely, for keto. The other thing as well that I really love about keto is the fact that you can kiss. Keep it simple. And again, budget wise, if you do keep it simple and you can see behind me, you can bulk buy avocados, bulk buy eggs. If you're having things like that and you're buying them in bulk, not only are you keeping it simple, but you're also reducing the cost. So if you're a busy person, you've got a busy job and you never got time to prepare things, if you stick to those simple foods behind me, for instance, you're onto a winner cost wise and time wise. The next one is, if you love fat, if you love, really stodgy things, then you will love the keto diet. So for me, I haven't had like real cheese for months and months and months. So I've really enjoyed having this not even a cheese sauce, actually having melted cheese on mushrooms, melted cheese on chicken. So that's been really fun and really lovely. You know, my taste buds have been going wild from all this lovely natural fat in these cheeses. The other thing I've noticed is my skin. Now, I haven't got any hair to see whether that's improved, but obviously because you are getting so much nutrients from the fat, this is where you will see my skin. It doesn't feel oily, but it just feels really healthy. Like there's not one bit that's I've got dry skin or anything. So that is a massive plus. And finally, the pros, I don't feel hungry. There's not many diets where, you know, hand on heart, you've got that little feeling inside that says, I know I shouldn't eat, but I want to eat. But with keto, you really do feel full and content. For the first time in about 6 months, I've actually been going to bed with keto and actually not thinking to myself, you want this hunger feeling because that's how you're going to lose weight. But with keto, a little bit in the mornings, but apart from that, I didn't feel hungry at all. So that's a massive plus for keto. Right, now we're going to talk about the cons. Now, these are quite important because they can lead to health, like immediate health issues. The biggest con, I think, is that you've got to eat green vegetables or low carb vegetables with every single meal, because if you don't, you're going to get constipation. You're not going to feel good, because the problem is, when you're eating so much fat, it obviously has to go through your digestive system. Now, most of that fat will be ingested through your digestive system, so it'll be absorbed into your body. So what you need to do is obviously have those fresh greens, have those fibers to actually wash those other bits of fat through and through your digestive system. So if you don't like leafy green vegetables, sorry, but keto isn't the eating plan for you, because you're going to end up with really awful constipation and maybe other side effects as well. The other one, I've got it here, I've got it over there. Water, for the exact same reasons, for your digestion and not to get constipation, also to feel good and energetic. It's really important that you do drink a lot of water, again, to wash that fat through the body. So again, if you're not a water drinker, keto isn't for you, I'm sorry. Right, the next one is the keto flu. Now, there are several side effects that you can get with keto, but the major one, which most people get, is the keto flu. Now, did I get keto flu? All I can say is it felt like I wasn't quite right. You know, like just before a cold or just after a cold, you just don't feel right. That's how I've been feeling. So that's how I would distinguish it. And some people get really awful headaches and, you know, they don't want to get out of bed that day. I didn't have anything like that. So I didn't have the keto flu, which I read about. And I think that was because my diet was pretty healthy before. But if you're going for a really bad diet where you don't drink any water, you have loads of processed foods, and then you go onto keto, you probably are going to get that quite bad. But remember, it may be worth it because it might get you off that junk food. Eating out. Can you eat out on keto? Now, I researched this a lot. Now, obviously, if you're going to, you know, somewhere local, somewhere independent where you can speak with the servers and they're quite open to ask, you know, giving you something they can cook, then you can obviously ask for meat and cheese cooked in fat. So that's fine. But most chains who don't have any adaptions, you probably won't be able to eat anywhere. The best one I found was Subway. There you can have the ham salad with cheese. Obviously, it's not the best cheese and it's not the best ham. However, keto-wise, low-carb-wise, I did think that was the best place. And obviously, a squirt of mayo. That was probably my favourite meal of the week because I just got excited I was eating out on keto. Now, the other big downside of keto is having a treat, because if you have a treat on keto, game over. It's going to take you 7 days to get back into ketosis. I'll talk a little bit about ketosis in a moment. So for instance, if you wanted a biscuit, that is going to send you, like, it's going to undo all the work. So if you have a biscuit on day 13, it's going to undo all that work. So it's going to take another 7 days to get back into ketosis for most people. So therefore, if you're having a healthy, balanced diet and you are counting your calories, you could actually have a treat and it would fit in there a lot better. So if you feel, really determined, you've had a heart attack or something really major and you've got to improve your health, then I think keto will do it, and it will do it quick. However, if this is just to fit in a summer dress, if your reason why is not so strong, then I don't think you're going to be able to cope with keto, as I said, to stick to those big rules that you can't have a treat. Now, I joined a lot of Facebook groups and found out there is a lot of people, and most people out there, to be honest, who do keto seem to do something called dirty keto or lazy keto. And this is basically sticking to your macros, so having the right amount of carbs and fat levels, but having a lot of saturated fats, having a lot of processed foods. So if you did want to treat, it is possible on keto, but you need to make your own things. For instance, you can make cakes with almond flour and artificial sweeteners. So for me, because I'm trying to change long term and get off those sorts of processed foods, that wasn't really my style. But there is a way of cutting the corners, having a few treats here and there. But I know for me, if I made, like for instance, they have these amazing cheesecakes that you can make with all this vegetable cream. And a lot of the people in the group say, I have one slice every day. I couldn't do that, guys. If I'm making this cheesecake, which tastes amazing, I'm going to eat the lot. So this is why I didn't go down that path, because I knew once I started making these really amazing things, I wouldn't be able to stop at one piece. So I've mentioned earlier about being in ketosis. What is ketosis? I'm just going to give you an overview, but basically your body right now, for most of you out there, runs from carbohydrates. So protein turns into carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is also known as sugar, and this is basically your main function. And your brain in particular needs sugar or this form of carbohydrates to run. However, what happens with keto is it stops completely the supply carbohydrates or things like protein that can be turned into carbohydrates, and it makes your body to run on fat. Now, the good news is that you're turning your body into a fat burning machine. So obviously we're giving our body some of these natural fats, and then when it runs out of those natural fats, that's when it starts to burn the fat in our body. And that basically is ketosis. And as I said earlier, if you do have a biscuit, for instance, that will throw you back out of ketosis, and it is quite hard to get back. As I said, you need to almost force your body into ketosis. Now, I don't know too much about this, but I've seen a lot about these keto tablets that a lot of people are going on about, and basically what that's doing is almost trying to force your body from carbohydrates onto fats. Now, if you're having a normal diet and you're getting into keto via the tablet, it's just a waste of time, because your body's just going to go straight back to carbs because you're still feeding it carbs. Like I said earlier, if you had a little mistake, like you did have a biscuit by mistake, then maybe having one of those keto tablets will help you get back into ketosis faster. But if you are out there just taking these really expensive keto tablets and think it's going to do any good for you, sorry, it's not. So let's have a conclusion about keto. Is it thumbs up or is it thumbs down? It's definitely thumbs up, guys. I particularly have been trained in holistic lifestyle coaching, which is all about, I have something called the great grandmother diet, and it's all about going back from processed foods, trying to eat as our great grandparents would. So for me, keto really reminded me of those principles, because if you look at behind me, eggs, avocados, nuts, water, coconut, salt, it's all about having natural things, and the most important thing, having nutritious things, and that's what's keeping you full, that's what's filling you up fast and keeping you full. So I love that side of keto. The only thing that I would change, especially from what I've eaten this week, I don't think I particularly perform well on dairy, so I have added a lot more dairy. So what I'm going to do after this 14-day challenge is continue without any dairy, and also continue with a lot of unsaturated fats. So for instance, avocados are unsaturated fats, also nuts are unsaturated fats. Eggs have got some saturated fats, and also coconut oil has got some coconut oil. Where is it? There. Coconut oil has also got some saturated fats as well. So I'm going to have a balance, but I'm going to make sure that I have got that balance between the unsaturated and the saturated, and not just go onto saturated fat, which a lot of keto people do. And they don't do it just because they like those foods or because they're lazy. It's because there is some research out there again where people say if you do go onto saturated fat only, it will help you lose weight. And as I said, what I'm going to be doing from here is what's known as clean keto. And to be honest with you, I haven't really enjoyed, although I've liked the taste and the flavour of cheese and bacon, I don't enjoy, I don't know, I just don't like having it in my body. So what I'm going to be doing is like a pescatarian diet. So I'm going to have things like eggs and butter, but I am going to stay away from a lot of meat products because I just don't enjoy eating them. And for me, also part of my conclusion, it has to be the fact that for 2 weeks now, I haven't drunk Diet Coke or jelly or anything with artificial sweetener, and I haven't had any grain. So I used to have porridge every single morning, and when I was feeling hungry in the evenings, I used to have a bit of Diet Coke, or I used to have a bit of artificial sweetener jelly. But I've cut out that completely, and I've only drank water 100% for 2 weeks. So for me, that was a real challenge that I overcome, and I'm really, I'm proud of myself for doing that, because you know, most dieters are addicted to things like that. So I really think that's the true benefits. However, how did I do it? Because it was the satisfaction of eating all these lovely fats. So I've got to give Mr. Keto, who invented this, or the scientist that found ketosis, you know, I've got to thank you, because this really has, you know, changed my whole lifestyle. And for the first time, I really believe I am a holistic lifestyle coach. I'm living it and breathing it. You can probably see this lovely natural shine on my skin, and again, that is thanks to eating all these healthy natural fats. So that's it from my keto review. If you would like some more information about keto, I will be releasing some more information in my weekly newsletter. Please go to my website, which is jodybunting.com, and subscribe to my free mailing list. I will be sending out some meal plans and some meal ideas, how you can join keto, clean keto. So how you're going to work on your health from the inside and feel great. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment on this video and I'll be happy to return your questions. Also, give it a like, and if you liked it, share it to your friends as well. Also on YouTube, remember to click the subscribe button. My name has been Jody Bunting. This is the pros and cons of keto. Thank you and goodbye.